slide over.
What's that?
You can slide over further. It's fine. Yeah. Everybody ready? Everybody good? This is one of those cases that you know, people will see out there and be appalled by the video just as much as members of the Pasco Sheriff's Office. It was one of those things that came to us from two different ways. One of our detectives, Detective Fechtenmeyer, was investigating crimes property related. We also received tips from our citizens, and I want to thank those citizens for providing us this video. So basically, we had been looking at this video. We just got it last week, but it came from two different directions. When we saw, you know, as I said, we were absolutely appalled. For an adult that should have been acting like an adult, once again, we see them acting like a child, and is actually the instigator of the whole incident. What had happened was, these two girls had once been friends. They actually had lived together with Tabitha in her house. It was about over a year ago. In that time, they had separated. They actually, over Facebook over the past several weeks, they had started going back to each other, and a fight was ensuing over words. The thing was, it wasn't just these two girls, but Tabitha Bennett was also involved in it too. She was acting like the teenagers in here, and she was instigating this fight the whole time. So one day she sets up this fight. Tabitha is the one who actually set up the fight at Moog and Colonial Heights. So she sets up this fight. Her and her daughter get into the car. They start driving to the scene, and when a detective asked her, he said, you know, who did you drive with? She goes, I'm not really sure. It was just somebody that, you know, I kind of knew through a friend. So I can tell you throughout the whole time, this whole thing is just chaotic. And Tabitha Bennett is the center of the chaos. And she's the instigator and cause of all this chaos. So they get to the fight, and the charge of child abuse is because Tabitha set up this fight. She set up knowingly and knowingly set up this fight where endangering the lives of children that they could have been seriously hurt out there. That's where the charge of child abuse comes in. Tabitha then gets out of the car at the fight, and she pulls out a knife. And she starts telling everybody on the scene, this is going to be a fight between these two. If anybody gets involved, and starts pointing a knife, and clearly made the indication that she was going to stab somebody. That's where you get the ag assault charge. Now the victim of this, when she arrives on scene, she sees Tabitha Bennett with this knife, and as she told our detectives, she feared for her life. She said, I'm going to die here. I guess Tabitha Bennett has a reputation in that community for being absolutely crazy. Not for the sense that she's certifiable, but for the sense that she just goes off the handle and she does stupid things, such as she did on this day. So the girl starts fighting. When the victim is winning the fight, Tabitha is not happy with this. As you can see, the whole time she's encouraging her daughter, telling her what to do. She in no way was trying to stop this fight. Even at one point, you hear a young girl yell, you guys need to stop this fight. You're too close to the road. Somebody's going to get killed. It's sad, but the voice of reason, this other girl who was there, was the smartest person there when you have an adult, Tabitha Bennett, who should have been stopping this. The other side of it then, at the point when the fight is going on and Tabitha's daughter is losing, you see Tabitha go up, kick the victim in the side, pull her hair down, basically allowing her daughter to jump on top of the girl to give her the advantage. That's where you get the charge for a battery of kicking the girl. I go back to, you know, this whole thing was a disaster, and the whole disaster was started by Tabitha Bennett. This girl's a train wreck. The whole situation was a train wreck, and I could just tell you, you know, we went out there and we spent some resources investigating this, because we know with today's social media, these things go viral. They get out there and then other people see this and they think it's a joke. They think, oh, you know, we're going to post this up on Facebook. You know, who's going to do anything about it? These are two girls out there fighting, and look at this supposedly mother who is out there supposed to be being a mother, and she's the problem there. But we want to send a clear message to our community. It isn't going to be tolerated. You know, we get the advancement of technology. 20 years ago, we don't even know if we ever had information about this. But today we do, because people are out there taking to Facebook, they're sending it out there, they're taking the videos. We're sending a clear message it's not going to be tolerated. And as I keep going back to, this whole thing was a train wreck. She was the engineer driving the train, but now she's going to end up in Orlando Lakes jail, where she was charged with several counts. I'm just hoping that when she gets in front of the court, the judge, or if it goes to jury, they realize that she's the one who instigated this whole situation. And I think for myself, Detective Warndorf.
What about claims of bullying that they reported that Tabitha's daughter had been bullied in previous weeks? And
I can get, I'll let Detective Warndorf go into that, but I can tell you from what we've seen so far in the investigation, there was some personal issues, and because of the victim, I'm not going to get into some of the situations, words that were said, but there clearly, from our investigation, was not bullying done to one individual person. If Tabitha's out there trying to claim bullying, she's lying. She's the bully, and she was charged for it. So I can tell you, if she's trying to use that as her defense, it's not going to work out for her. But I'll let Detective Warndorf get more into that.
I also heard that a group of young men, baseball bats, and no shirts on, and all that had come to the house first. I don't know any legitimacy to any of that.
As far as the baseball bats, I have no knowledge of that. As far as the bullying, they were writing messages back and forth for a few days. Both girls and Tabitha, they were all involved. So all three of them were sending messages to each other.
So it wasn't necessarily directed one.
No, it was not one-sided at all. And most of the messages were between the victim and Tabitha, not Tabitha's daughter.
In the video, section where she goes to kick her and also grab her with the hair, with an object in her hand, was that the knife?
Yes.
Looks red. Like a color.
I can't tell what color the knife is. When I zoom it in, because of the quality, it just distorts it, so I can't tell the exact color of it.
Was either girl injured in the fight?
Just minor scrapes,
Both of them or just one?
both of them.
So you're not taking her with a habit, are you?
As far as the sheriff's office, no, that would be an issue for child protection.
Have they been called in?
They have been notified, yes.
We don't know if they daughter.
I don't know.
Did any of you get to the scene of the fight, or you found out about this later?
No, the sheriff's office was never notified. Someone told us about the video, and that's how we found out.
The points that it sounds like the defendant's trying to make, if she was in fear for her life, that somebody was, people came to her house with baseball bats, she should have notified law enforcement. If she has she's out there saying that, I was in fear of these people, call us up. However, what she decided to do was take a knife, go bring her daughter to a fight, have a fight. So she can make up as many stories as she wants. The reality is she admitted to us she had the knife. She admitted what went on the tape. The tape says it all. I mean, this is one of those situations, it's clearly cut what happened out there. And as I go back to, she's out there in her moo-moo, instigating this fight. It was a train wreck. The whole thing's an absolute train wreck.
Any other questions?
We're good. All right, we're good. I appreciate it.
Okay.